I'm your host, James. We have Peter, and we have a guest with us.
My name's Logan. I'm the host of GreaterGuides on YouTube and Twitch.
Cool.
Logan, we're grateful to have you here today on the show.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be here.
You seem pretty knowledgeable about the stuff we've talked about, because we've had some technical difficulties this episode. I feel really dumb.
Yeah, this is kind of a take two, but it's okay. We'll do kind of a quick recap of the things we've talked about.
All right, so we introduced Captain Marvel because that movie is coming out in a few weeks.
Well, less than a week and a half from now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's not right. Let me see the calendar.
I thought it was in
March 7th.
Well, yeah, I guess, early March.
Huh, okay, well, maybe it is. So we know that Captain Marvel is kind of a big character. This is the Marvel version of Captain Marvel, because I realized that today that they did call the character Shazam Captain Marvel before. It was quite a while ago. I can't remember how long, but there was a whole lot of what do you call that? The legal stuff, copyright.
Yeah, copyright.
I don't know if it was necessarily copyright, but the creators of the comics they had like I guess kind of a war going on with the name, and so DC kept Shazam, Marvel kept Captain Marvel for obvious reasons.
So is that what they're going with for the DC Captain Marvel? Is they're calling him Shazam instead of Captain Marvel? That's interesting.
Although I've seen the Young Justice series, and they called Shazam Captain Marvel in that, so I don't know.
Probably is for a TV show compared to like a multi-million or like dollar movie.
But I mean that's also a movie. Shazam comes out, I think, just a month after Captain Marvel does.
Yeah.
So.
And who's the actor for Shazam?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, that's right.
He was Chuck in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll be good.
And he was in Thor 2. He was Fandral in Thor 2.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, they switched those actors without nobody even noticing.
That's interesting.
Which is pretty funny.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that until after like the movie came out. They're like, did they totally replace Fandral? I'm like, I don't care. It's not important to the story.
Yeah.
So Captain Marvel, go ahead, Peter.
So Captain Marvel, we're gonna get a little bit more about her story, where she comes from, as well. We get to see the Skrulls. So for any of you guys who don't know, the Skrulls are gonna be the villain in this movie, but the Skrulls in the comic books are also the villains against Fantastic Four and the Avengers. So this could be a good bit for the Skrulls to bring back the Fantastic Four the right way. So for the first two movies that were awful, finally we can have a good Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
well, we get to see
I
that.
sure hope so. I like those characters. Like that's maybe my favorite group of Marvel heroes. I mean, the Avengers are cool, but Fantastic Four is much smaller, much more. They can be much more personal.
Yeah.
Just because it's a smaller group and
I would
it's
say
a family.
I'd say that's kind of what divides them from the X-Men, because the Fantastic Four, it's only, a handful of individuals, so it's a much more like kind of personable relationship with those. While, even with the X-Men, there's kind of like the main X-Men, and then there's like kind of the outer ones.
Right. Yeah, there's so many X-Men.
Yeah.
So before we go further, what did you guys think of the first two Fantastic Four movies?
Oh, I love the original ones.
The first one was good with Silver Surfer 2, but anything after that, like the Michael B. Jordan one, wasn't good.
Yeah.
2015 reboot.
Yeah.
Because that was like, aside from like Blade and like the old Hulk movies, those were like the first superhero movies that Marvel started really branding, I guess.
Yeah, along with like kind of the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah,
that's
true.
like, for me, that's like my
time.
childhood golden age, where, you have these super iconic heroes that you just fall in love with when you were a kid.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that I can't remember if it was captured or not, so both Peter and Logan are huge Spider-Man fans. They love Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. He's okay. But.
He's the best.
I mean, he's one of my favorite superheroes.
I would say Thor is the best. I'm kind of biased there because I have like a big man crush on Chris Hemsworth. So it's probably unfair, but I mean, we have seen that Thor is pretty powerful and pretty legit, and funny.
I'm just gonna say I'm just happy that they Sony and Marvel got together and finally gave up Spider-Man for a little bit, just so he can be included in the Avengers, and which is a good thing too that we want to see. And Tom Holland does a great job as playing Spider-Man. Like, it was really sad for him to see him go in Infinity War. I was tearing up a bit because I'm like, really? Like, he's only been here for like
2 movies, and then he's gone.
His own movie. Well, yeah, we can say 2 because he's been in like part of
Civil
War,
Homecoming, and then Infinity War.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad to see. But yeah, so on to that note, so we have the Skrulls, right, as one of the villains, but also we can think about, hey, we have Nick Fury here, the young Nick Fury, and like we all know what's going to happen there. Like, he's working with Captain Marvel, and we know that he has 2 eyes in this movie. So
he's double as cool. Maybe not as cool until he gets his eye patch. So he's like half as cool.
Yeah.
Because he has 2 eyes.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing kind of his. I mean, this is as close as probably an origin story we're going to get for Nick Fury.
Yeah.
I doubt he's going to have his own standalone movie, so I think this will do justice in that respect.
Yeah, so for everyone looking out for it, it's going to be such a great film for us to be watching as well. And we're all excited to see what's going to happen with Captain Marvel. So we talked about in the other take about what could happen in the post-credit scenes. So for those of you guys remembered, we talked about
the first post-credit scene from Infinity War,
where he drops
where Nick Fury drops
the little pager. Yeah.
The enhanced pager. I thought that was so funny.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he pulls out a pager of all things, and then he's like texting on a pager. He's like, but then, you know.
He drops it, right? So I could see as what Marvel could do is Captain Marvel is coming in a couple of seconds after all that and picking up the pager. And
he'd be like, where's Nick Fury? Where's everybody else?
Yeah, she can fly, can't she?
Yeah, she has a lot of powers. And then another thing we can see too is because she's out in space all most of the time, and we all know that Iron Man, Tony Stark, is out in space
with Nebula. Don't forget that.
With Nebula.
With Nebula.
So the question is, how are they going to get home? And like, we can probably see her going out to go save them and bring them back to Earth. There's so much that could happen, but
yeah, there's a ton. I remember seeing a screenshot not too long ago of like Tony and Nebula both like working on something, and which I think is cool because this is, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s contract's up, so this is probably the last movie we're going to see him in. And it's cool because he's wearing like his black tank top that he like kind of wore in that first Iron Man movie when he's in the cave, and he's building something. So it's like this kind of like bringing it back to like the roots of what we loved from that character.
Yeah, he's MacGyvering himself out of a situation where, you know, he's of course good at. He's a genius. He's a genius physicist. He's pretty much seen everything at this point. Like, at that point in time, he saw, you know, magic from Doctor Strange. He's seen aliens. He's seen a whole different race of like different aliens, like with Thanos, with Mantis. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seen everything, so he's not. I'm sure he's just like, you know, building. He's so dedicated at this point to build something that can be anything, really.
Yeah. And,
maybe even Thor, but if he could, that'd be dope.
Yeah, and on top of that, you know, he's seen all this different kind of technology, and he's only tapped into really vibranium at this point. So, you know, the possibilities for him are probably super open.
Yeah. Do you think that he'll get a vibranium suit in this new movie?
I want to see him adopt some of the power from the quantum realm. That's what I really want to see, because I want to see him, first off, in my head, this is how it works. He gets back to Earth. You know, Ant-Man
with the help of Captain Marvel, of course.
And Ant-Man just got out of the quantum realm, so I don't know if he's affected with things or not, but he could then share that knowledge with Iron Man, and then Iron Man can take that to make himself stronger to help defeat Thanos.
And like, I've seen a lot of packaging of like Marvel marketing for like the new toys, new costumes that the Avengers will have. Have you seen those white suits?
Yeah, the kind of like silver white,
like with some black and red in there.
Yeah.
And apparently those are the quantum suits. So the main core Avengers are going to be going through the quantum realm back to the Battle of New York, so they can get both the Tesseract and the Mind Stone, because that was in the Scepter. So if they get those two, like, time travel is the big rumor of this movie.
Yeah, and that's my suspicion with how they're going to go about through things, which will be cool. First, I think that's amazing if they could revisit some classic scenes.
Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be so funny. So where all the Avengers is in that circular motion. They're all coming together, and then right after Captain Marvel comes in, she's like, "Hey guys!" They're like, "What the?"
Yeah, I
like,
could definitely see them returning to
this
stuff
could
like
be
that.
Weird.
It's gonna be there's a lot they could do.
They break the fourth wall. She's allowed in the movie, right?
Yeah.
But,
I just know that Thanos is gonna get what he's gonna get for, and
yeah.
so I'm excited to see Captain Marvel come in. I think we all are. Just when's the last recent Avengers movie other than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because of a Marvel character, was back a couple months ago, but Captain Marvel's gonna open it up, and then we have Endgame in April, and then Spider-Man
Far From Home in July.
Yeah,
in July. And then
these two are so excited for that movie. They know everything about it.
I'm excited to see how Jake Gyllenhaal is gonna be in
You've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah,
I'm sure we could have a whole episode talking about that.
Yeah, we kind of already did have one where we were talking about that trailer a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
but aside from Captain Marvel, there were some weird cuts jumping with this recording, but we talked about her power level compared to other
Avengers,
right? And so we know that Iron Man's a pretty powerful character just because of his knowledge, because of his suits. But actual abilities and powers, I think Thor is probably the strongest.
Yeah,
one,
I would
right?
say that he is the strongest. And what I was saying in our original take was I was curious to see how strong he is compared to Captain Marvel.
And where Hulk would fit in with those two.
Yeah.
too.
I wonder how they're gonna bring Hulk back into Endgame.
Yeah.
There's a theory that it's going to be Professor Hulk, so it'll be Banner in control of the Hulk's body.
Which would be really cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a really expensive movie because of all that CGI and all that stuff.
Well, I think they have plenty of funding for it, you know?
Yeah, after making so much money.
Disney
especially
has an
since
endless
now
bank
that, yeah.
Yes.
So we know that Captain Marvel is going to be a pretty powerful character, and I don't know if you guys have you heard of her going binary. So that's what her massive power is. Once she's so powerful, they call it she's gone binary.
Interesting.
And so we'll probably see that in this Captain Marvel movie. Hopefully we'll see that again in Endgame because she might need to. Maybe not. She's probably already powerful enough where she could just punch Thanos or who knows what.
Because Thor didn't have. Once he got Stormbreaker, he was able to. He did catch Thanos off guard, with that throw. So it'll be interesting to see how powerful Thanos is. I don't know if he can still use the Infinity Gauntlet because it looked pretty messed up.
Yeah. Even the stones looked messed up because they were they would glow and then die out, then glow again, die out.
So maybe they go through a recharge period. You think maybe?
Maybe, I don't know.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
And maybe that's that's probably the main story of that movie is the aftermath of that and what happened with those. And that's probably where Ant-Man will come into play and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's all up for speculation because the trailers have only showed the first 15 minutes of a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So we really don't know at this point.
And if you guys do know in Endgame, Hawkeye, he's Ronin for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's much better character choice for that actor because as Hawkeye,
he's good at Hawkeye. I like him.
Right, but in comparison with all these other heroes, it's a guy shooting bows and arrows. Whereas I think it's much better for him to be a guy who kind of lost his mind, went off the deep end. Now he's in a super dark mindset.
Yeah.
Where he's using a more aggressive weapon. I think that's way better.
He was like that for the first trailer. He was Ronin, but in the second trailer, you can see him be normal as Hawkeye. So they're probably going to transition him back to being Hawkeye.
Maybe we'll see, or they'll just kind of combine those two mentalities.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
So then
pull
he'll
him
be
a little bit off the deep end.
Yeah, so maybe he'll be like Deadpool in a sense. That's Marvel's version of Deadpool.
I wonder if they, because I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true, that they have a bunch of like pre-recorded Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a true fact or not, but I would love to see something like that.
Yeah. I think it'd be so funny if he was in like a few different scenes in one movie, like
Yeah.
either in Captain Marvel or Endgame. Probably more so in Captain Marvel. But, well, I don't know, because they were filming Infinity War and Endgame at the same time,
Yeah.
so it'd probably be in that one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stan Lee. Did a great job.
Legend.
Legend. But yeah, so in our other take, we were also talking about the origin of Captain Marvel, and this version of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, is like the second version, correct?
I believe there's been multiple Captain Marvels over the years. If you go back through the history, we have Marvel, which that's Mar-Vell, which was kind of this cosmic soldier for the Kree, and I believe Miss Marvel gets her powers through kind of having like cross genetics somehow, and then we only see kind of the emergence of Captain Marvel since like 2012.
Yeah, and have you guys seen that the Avengers Assemble cartoon at all?
Yeah, I've seen most of it.
So I don't know why. I loved it because I started from season 1, then I went to season 4 in like a week, maybe. It was pretty bad. But they have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel later comes into the series, and Miss Marvel. I can't remember how accurate it was with the comics, but Miss Marvel, she got her powers from the Inhuman Terrigen bomb.
Interesting.
And so I don't know if they'll hint at any Inhuman technology or like Inhuman powers in this movie. I mean, it would make sense because they can't really use the word mutant in the Marvel universe yet, just because of the whole Fox deal.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be interesting to see if they hint at any Inhuman things, especially at this point in time, like it's in the 90s. What does Nick Fury know here? But what was going on at that time? But there was also the short series, The Inhumans. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I wish they would just reiterate it with a movie rather than a TV series.
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of view things is like I think there's some series that are better in like a TV genre. Like I think Daredevil and Punisher were perfect for a Netflix series.
Those were so good.
Because I think even with those characters, you kind of need to take your time with. It's kind of hard to rush some things with those. But then, there's other characters that have had tons of movies, which I think fill in that space as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone, if they were going to produce a Daredevil trilogy, that's not going to work. But it works better as a TV series versus a movie.
Yeah, and I think Inhumans would be better as a movie because, especially in this universe, because Black Bolt eventually becomes part of the Illuminati.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it'd be sweet to see a version of the Illuminati at some point. Because we already have Iron Man, we have Doctor Strange, we just need Professor X, Black Bolt, and Reed Richards.
Yeah.
So maybe the Skrulls are hinting more towards a Fantastic Four future. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
But I'm personally excited for this because one, it's another Marvel movie. Marvel doesn't really mess things up. I mean, personally for me, Thor 2 was not the best movie, and I've mentioned this before. Thor 2 wasn't as strong. Ant-Man wasn't as strong to me, but everything else was okay.
But then again, you have to think for Thor to have those movies, and for Ant-Man, they're not going off the original Avengers comic line. They're going with the Ultimate, where Ant-Man comes in later. Because the original Ant-Man was Hank Pym, and for you guys who don't know on Marvel Talks, Hank Pym and Tony Stark, they're the ones that created Ultron.
And Bruce Banner.
And Bruce Banner too. And in one of the cartoon movies with the Avengers kids, Ant-Man dies, and that was just Ant-Man and the Wasp die, and they have a kid, and the kid has both powers of mom and dad. But Hank Pym in the Ant-Man movie, I don't mind him being retired and all that, but I was looking forward to connected to the comic book, oh, Hank Pym. But in my mind, like I think they could do like another Ant-Man movie, but it goes back to the origin of like
The originals.
the original Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot, guys, with Marvel.
Maybe that's what will happen in the Endgame movie because they'll alternate with time. Time travel always has consequences. We learned that from any time travel based movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or book.
Yeah.
Or book.
Seriously.
And so I wonder if that's going to be like a consequence of them messing with like the timeline, that those heroes will emerge sooner, and in that alternate timeline, but then they'll still return to like when Endgame happens. And then they'll have that alternate universe because the multiverse has already been established because of Doctor Strange. So. But that's as far as we want to go today. As far as Captain Marvel, we'll probably continue a little bit more hyping the movie up, getting people excited to go see it, and spending their money for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Logan, thanks again for joining us today on Marvel
pleasure.
Talks. We'd like to have you again in the future.
Oh, I'd love to be here.
And I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, James. What are you going to?
I think we should talk about the Young Avengers. So we know that Spider-Man is a younger Avenger.
You can add Wolverine into that too.
Wolverine?
Yeah, because he was a younger Avenger.
Right. But there's also, in the Captain Marvel trailer, there is a younger girl. Have you seen that trailer where she's like, "How do I look?" She's like, "Fresh."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a big thing with Marvel Universe, with the Marvel head honchos and like their projects. They're looking to go for a younger Avengers now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done the Runaways Hulu series. They've done Cloak and Dagger, Spider-Man. So they're kind of introducing younger superheroes. And so I think that'd be a fun topic to go over next time is who could be in there. There's also a casting choice for in Endgame where I think it's Scott Lang's daughter. What's her name? Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
She becomes the character of Stature, and so he'll travel forward in time because of those time vortices, and see a future where his daughter is like Ant-Man, kind of. So
That's cool.
That would be it. We'll talk about that next week on Marvel Talks, and hope you enjoyed today's topic. We will continue with that topic. Thanks for joining in, and hopefully we'll have Logan here on another episode. Thanks for joining in.
My pleasure.